kind of scared.
Yay! More Zim!
What's this show?
What episode is this again? Vindicated?
Vindicated.
Oh, this is your big episode, Danielle Koenig, writer.
This
Yay!
one.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes.
Hey!
We're here with Danielle Koenig, writer.
Danielle.
Richard Horvitz, voice of Zim.
Hello.
Yay!
Ricky Simons, voice of Gur.
And anger.
Andy Berman,
Thank you, Melissa.
Voice of
Jonan
Dib.
doesn't want to mention me.
Voice of Dib. Melissa Fawn.
Yay, Melissa!
voice of Gaz, woo!
And Paul Greenberg.
Moshi.
Voice of Screaming
Yeah,
Child.
Who plays Mushi? Mushi.
What did you have against Jonan? What did you have against names like Bill and David? And...
I actually
Too
came up
evil.
with Moshi.
Oh, okay.
Wait, did you had both of them? Was it Mushi and Spoopty?
Yeah, both mine. No, Spoopsy might have been yours, but Moshi
Mushi's
was
yours?
mine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, this was your first
First
real
solo
experience. Yeah, your first experience with having me mangle only your writing and not
Right.
co-writing with someone else.
Yeah. Well, you mangled quite a bit of it, actually.
Yay!
Yeah.
Good for Danielle.
Yeah.
Now, which one's Danielle?
I do
girl.
a voice in this too, I think.
She's the
Yeah.
girl.
Can you tell a Sean
You
Murray story?
You reprised the role of
Of
Morla.
Morla, the ugly,
There I am.
an ugly sounding girl.
I like the thick line art on this one.
Now, this is a guy's voice that we pitched,
Who's that?
but who?
It's Fred Tatasciore. It says right there, Coach Wallace.
Oh, Fred. Fred should be
Fred
here.
Tatasciore. Fred really should should. be here.
Fred should be here.
He also plays the lead, the lead guest star in this role.
He does.
So-
And he does a fantastic Tom Brokaw. Yes, he does.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I-
That before, probably. Yes,
I've
it
never
is.
heard that ever.
What did we end up calling this? Blood,
It's a great
Bludgeon
game.
Ball?
Bludgeon Ball.
Bludgeon Ball.
This whole sequence here, I remember I felt so bad because Kyle had boarded out like a 9-minute action sequence here. And the joke was just that, he hits him with the ball and knocks his thing off. Just this big action sequence, and he did it. It was beautiful, but I was like, well, we can't use it, Kyle. So, he hung his head and he wept for a while. But all in all,
I don't think I've ever seen this episode.
I think I called it like
nice
Death Ball.
impact sounds, Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got so many impact sounds on this show, especially from Richard.
My one solo writing credit. You never saw this episode.
I don't think I ever.
Nice.
Okay, my impersonation, typical Richard impact. Oh! And then there's Andy.
Yes, that is
See?
so.
Everything Andy did that was
is
was
so
strained
Andy.
was.
And what was mine?
I already did that one.
Oh, I never went oh ever.
You went.
I went.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Sweet.
Sweet.
That was beautiful.
The kid's got stitches on his eyes.
That's me.
That was you?
Yeah.
I feel that in the
Morla.
morning.
Yeah.
You wrote her into your own episode?
Of course, because I wanted to get residuals from SAG.
Yeah.
You don't get
smart.
residuals as a writer, so
pretty
yeah.
smart, yeah.
Still get that
Get
12 bucks.
yourself, you see?
Again, on
What did you do with your last $12 that you got from Memorial?
Put it toward my rent.
It was amusing for a while, Dib, but now you're just scary. Go to the counselor's office.
Yes, I am normal. So normal and ugly am I.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Pioopy.
Bleep,
That's
bleep,
Pioopy
bleep.
there. That was Pioopy with the little green hair.
Pupy.
Not Pioopy.
I'm Mr. Twiggy, the new
Fred Tatasciore.
Fred Tatasciore.
Yeah.
Why isn't Fred here? Where's Fred?
I asked him to be.
Give me some Fred.
The big difference, Jonan, was that I wrote it that he really did have an experience as a kid and really did believe in Dib. And you wrote it that he was patronizing Dib and was lying to him. So that was the big.
Well, that doesn't change much, does
Dover,
it?
This is my starring role as the guy in the
that's great.
in the vent.
He's
Are
3.
you the guy in the vent?
I'm the one that says help me, and I do the breathing.
I remember this recording session. Danielle was particularly angry at us
I think it's probably
That's
because
right.
the
for
studio
massacring
is really
her
cold.
lines. Remember?
Well, she every writer is sensitive to how their stuff is interpreted. I got
But
used
at this
to it.
point, they weren't my
I got
lines,
used to
so-
hearing you guys, make a mockery of my
Yes.
of my genius. But
It was fresh for me.
Danielle,
It was a
but
fresh
Danielle was,
wound.
she was young back
Yeah,
then.
impressionable.
Well, she would lean on the
You're
talk
like
back, and all
like
you'd ever
11,
hear is
right?
ugh.
When you wrote this?
And you were involved romantically with Fred, weren't you?
Yeah.
at the time of the
Well,
recording.
Yes, but
You
now
wrote
she's
this for him.
engaged. She's engaged now.
Ah.
not to Fred.
Not
What,
to Fred.
what are you engaged in?
Congratulations on Danielle's engagement. If the DVD release should happen and she's no longer engaged, I guess this will apply.
No, she'll be
will mock me
married.
if I
She'll
don't
be
go through with the
married.
wedding.
then.
Danielle, I have to say that whatever I did to ruin the episode, which I didn't do, I added a guy with a twisted leg,
Yeah, you did.
and that's all a person
Wait,
needs.
check out this
Yeah.
guy's arms. This is Aaron's.
Aaron's,
design.
oh yeah, Aaron's little tiny arms. Chris, wait, no, not Chris.
Ah,
No,
I love
Look
this.
at how
bottom of
short
the
they
cup.
hang.
This is still Kyle up front here.
Those,
All right,
Those
someone,
arms
is someone
are-
gonna correct me?
Technical target.
Oh, look at that piggy.
Oh, he's chewed them all up.
Uh-oh.
To help out with my plan to get Zim to confess his alien self
Gers
to the world.
detritus there.
So what do you do now, Danielle?
What's that?
She watches episodes of
watch
Zim with all her loves.
That's right.
So do you watch this episode at home over and over and over and just kind of cry silently?
Well, actually, I wail loudly, and the neighbors have complained, and then they say, "Oh, Zim again," and I say, "Yeah."
Should get a screaming helmet.
I have to say, there are certain episodes that just stand out that I actually am proud to show from beginning to end, and I actually really love this episode.
that's very nice.
I can be a pretty
Kiss
negative.
her.
I can be a
Kiss her.
pretty negative guy. I can be pretty negative, but this is
No.
It's a pretty episode. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's funny from beginning to
It's a
end.
good story.
It's not a show-offy kind of episode. You know what I mean?
Right. All my stuff is pretty earthbound, but
Well,
straightforward.
Well, the fact that you have very little imagination.
yeah, that helps.
helps.
Yeah.
It helps.
All the artists thanked me for
You're
that,
very
by the way.
grounded
Yeah.
in an incredibly dull way, but
Would you guys like us to
humorless
leave?
Sort of
Humorless.
dull. Yeah.
Do you need us to leave right now?
No.
Do you want to be alone?
I think the only problem
I'm
with
just
this
glad
episode is that
Paul
it's
is
not
sitting
very
in
good.
between.
Here's us telling
Yeah, I
here's us
kinda
telling
enjoy it.
Andy to
You're
try
the
and do a
buffer.
different
Yes.
alien kind of voice.
Yeah.
We each have a hand on
Yeah, and you just decided to just give me.
You know, just take it for what it's worth.
Still sounds like a 40-year-old.
There's like 3 conversations going on at the same time here. He's got like a rubber glove on his head. A little something's alive on his
pigeon.
head. No, it's like a round muffin-looking thing with eyes. Oh, it's a chicken.
And an earring, some kind of dangly earring.
Mushy and spookty.
I like Richard's line here. I like Richard's. He seemed happy.
I was so sure this was going to be.
Look at him. Zim thinks
Look at
he seems like a happy guy. Zim's not. He's not suspicious. Look how pretty this is. Now we're into
It is
Sean
pretty.
stuff.
The color is beautiful. Ricky, did you have something to do with the color?
No,
of this?
Ricky didn't do this episode.
It's not pink.
It's not.
I
pink,
think it's
right.
gorgeous.
I like it.
It's
Ricky
pretty when
only
it's
likes
inside the
pink.
forest,
It
but
looks
above it, it's
outdoorsy.
terrible.
This
It
is
looks
some of
very
my,
yellow and brown above
Okay,
it.
this-
isn't it?
this is some of my favorite Sean Murray stuff.
Zim's showing up, Dib. Maybe it's time you two
It's
stopped
it's
playing
little
and
too.
told me
It's
the
you
real
know it's
reason
nice and
so
intimate.
frustrated.
It's
I'm telling you, all my stories are very intimate. And by intimate, I
could've-
mean not
we
thought
could
out.
have we could have learned a lot from that.
That is good
You
given
could've
your
learned.
fear of intimacy.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
You do that instead of being intimate yourself. That's very good.
That's right.
I was gonna write more episodes, but then
You
something
transferred.
happened.
You
What
transferred.
happened?
What
The
happened?
show ended. No,
Well-
I did. I wrote 2 more episodes that were recorded and storyboarded, but not produced.
We chose to do No More Genius.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
choice. Good
That's
choice.
right. Good choice.
Genius can be so
And nice
tedious.
Leave them wanting nothing. That's what
Yes.
I always say. I mean more.
No, leave them wanting anything good.
There we go.
Oh, here's a
Music
rip-off.
is
Yeah.
fantastic.
There we go.
I told Kevin to try and do a chorus of people that sound like it's hurting them to keep getting higher and higher.
Like the grabbing.
It worked okay.
Danielle, did you also draw this show?
I did
She
actually.
did.
I
Oh,
drew.
wow.
I didn't know you could
I
draw.
traced.
Did you
to
edit?
Be fair.
Using a light brush
Yeah.
and some paper.
You do that thing where you square up the paper and you copy each box.
And then did
Yeah.
you paint? Did you paint by numbers?
I did. I did all of that.
When did you
shown
learn
a
to
lot.
Taken a
count?
long time. Wow.
I had to guess.
The counting got in the way.
Wow.
Hey, Brian Konechka was art director by this point, wasn't he? Because he designed
Yeah.
the spaceships that
Jaeger.
land. He designed this really bizarre-looking spaceship.
Ricky, you can do that sound now, can't you? Do that.
He's got the fishbowl on, but where's the fish?
He ate.
ate
Well,
the
He
fish.
ate, no, he
bounced
missed it. He
off.
threw it, but it didn't.
Oh,
Here,
it's
here
dead?
come the Plukesians. Here comes
Yes.
Paul.
Here it is.
Paul Greenberg and Dave Herman. I love these guys.
Oh wait, I think we missed my favorite line.
The new odd couple.
What was your favorite line?
I forget.
But it was your favorite. Oh,
You
love
wouldn't,
this.
you wouldn't know that you weren't watching a $9 billion
Oh.
show.
About
true. No.
This is some of my. This is I think I'm proudest of this character design here on the aliens. They look a little different than the usual guys.
That's great.
And they're born without arms, so they have these little synthetic arms that they attach to their heads.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm Mushi, and this is.
And to let you know where they're from or where they've been, he's got a space sticker.
He's
that
from
says Papa
space.
Sticker.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like when you throw a baseball around the world.
Dave Herman's voice here though. Thanks.
I know,
Thanks,
it's like,
thanks,
Bing
thanks, boss.
Crosby.
Thanks,
That's
boss.
right.
Hey, none of our business. You're really all
You're very casual for having just traveled across
Yeah.
the galaxy.
Well, you know, it's not like we do. It's a part of their species.
Well, to us, you're the aliens.
You're the alien.
That was my joke.
He's right.
I think I had 3 lines that made it in, and that was one of them.
Ah, is that true?
I love when
Oh,
he
wait a
does
minute,
that.
wait a minute. No, Spooky, you crazy is mine though.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
crazy
sorry.
for that.
I'm sorry, Danielle.
No.
I won't stand
I
for
said the
this.
setup was mine.
Get it? They never told you.
I think Spooked You Crazy is one of my favorite things.
I don't know what you're talking
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paul. As Danielle sheds a little tear.
No, but
Look, I start sobbing.
all your
again.
stuff is one of my favorite things too.
I personally like the smiley faces.
A real spaceship! Spaceship! And you fly through the stars, seeing all the universe?
Yeah, well, flying through the stars would be pretty stupid, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
run
that's a
around.
pretty powerful stupid
wanna
that
come
came
on?
out of you.
Wow, do I?
Right.
Oh, he's taking the video camera.
Oh, see? Oh, that's... Poor Dib never gets a break. Dib never gets a break.
What about our team?
It's like, he's like, oh, I got the camera.
Sorry.
Well, Jonan, who is foiled more, Zim or Dib?
No,
I'd
Tim
have to
is
see.
completely stupid in
about
this
half.
episode.
I'd
Because
have
he's
to-
like,
Dib,
where are the... He's
Dib
like,
is spoiled. I think Dib gets the brunt of it, though, because
Yeah.
he knows he's been beaten. Zim never knows
that's
he's been beaten.
right,
Zim never
right.
knows it.
Right.
I arranged this.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, as
But what's
close as you
worse,
can get to it on a
knowing or
kid's
not
show.
knowing?
How many episodes end with Dib moaning or, you know?
Here, I asked Andy to roar like a monster.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it.
He's so upset,
Yeah.
he
It's
becomes...
good.
He's inhuman with upset.
No, I didn't.
He did some
You did
stuff on it.
Is this the one that after the network saw this, they wanted to change the name of the show to Invader Zim and Dib?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Now, it's written by Eric Trueheart. Who's he?
I
He's
have no
a-
idea.
Eric Trueheart is my dad.
Louis Del Carmen. I love Louis Del Carmen. He was one
Son?
of the coolest things
Dad!
on
Oh, son.
the show. Louis stuff is always
This
really
is how
great.
every school should be.
Welcome to Voting of the Doomed.
I'm Jonan Vasquez. Next to me is Richard Horvitz. Got Ray Angram. Wait, did you do stuff on this one?
Me? Yes, I did.
What did you do?
I boarded this one.
Good work.
Thank you.
Good work. Andy Berman.
Yes.
Aces did.
And I'm Jonan Vasquez as Ricky Simons.
Aww. And Eric Trueheart.
I'm Jonan Vasquez's Ricky Simons.
Hey, by this point,
Eric
we
Trueheart.
had Aaron replace all the little like minor characters with his own designs, right?
Yeah.
For the
Pretty much.
most part, these are mostly Aaron's characters.
Yeah, the Chris Haney, who was in charge of color design for characters, really loved that. Having to recolor everything. Yeah, he loved it.
I remember when they called us about that, Andy, remember?
Yeah, but you did a good job on it, though. Chris
It was
was
a
Oh.
conference call, big time conference
It was a
call.
big time
Yeah,
conference call about the replacements.
Aaron is
And then we
cool.
sent flowers
Watch
to
the
somebody. I
shuffle.
don't remember why.
Was that your storyboard gag, right?
Yep.
Yay, Ray!
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Hey, I'm tired of talking about Zim now. Let's talk about other cartoons.
Me! It's Zim! Zim is me! Zim is me! Zim shall rule! Pick Zim! Zim! Me!
Oh,
I am Zim!
man, Richard.
Yeah, what do you think?
I give you an A.
Thanks. That was pretty...
Richard, you're awesome, man.
Thank you, Ray.
So,
I didn't need to go to a gym after.
Dim. Analysis annoying. Volunteers! So, huh? Willie, analysis, leadership material.
Well, we did a whole episode based around Willie here.
gas.
Willie was just a gag joke. He was just kind of thrown into Polonius Maximus as the
This is a great Miss Bitters
speak, and then
vehicle.
Be quiet, and then I go away from you all. As president, I will ensure that
And she has to wear this cloak because she can't be exposed to the sun.
That's right, she'll burn.
We're gonna do a whole episode called Tales of Miss Bitters.
I love
That
the
kid's
thing.
really thinking about whether or not he likes his legs.
sawed off.
with legs of pure gold.
I like how Zim throws it out there at first to see if it flies. And then when it's there, he goes, hey, hide me.
He thinks on his feet,
Yes.
man. He's quick on his feet.
Yes.
So, Ray,
I
what's
like
your
that guy's
philosophy
Bane
of
in
boarding
his head.
on this episode?
Yes.
What's your philosophy? What's your process?
To have a lot of fun with it. Seeing how many crowds that I have to draw. Are you kidding me? I mean,
Well, we've read.
They
well,
love crowds.
As writers, we're told that you need to keep things interesting. Thus, lots and lots of crowds.
That's what,
Lots
that's
of
what I did.
crowds.
Crowds
Constantly
equals
moving.
interesting.
Yeah,
Constantly moving
yeah.
because the board artists, they love that kind of thing.
yeah, we do.
Ah, Jim Wise. Jim Wise. Awesome job on Willie here.
You know what? Willie also looks like he's made of sausage.
One of my favorite things is when we get an
Well,
egg
that's the redesign of Willie. I remember.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron-
Aaron redesigned Willie from the original John Fountain.
When Aaron
we
drew
would
that
always-
one, Aaron said that Willie actually bit off his own ear.
Yeah, that the ear wound was self-inflicted somehow. That
That's
he had
right.
actually somehow bitten his own ear.
I like how we'd always get a guest on the show, and they would come in and they'd be like a really kind of tame take, and you would like direct them like, no, make it more. They'd be like,
Suddenly they would look around and look at how tired you and Andy look.
Yeah.
Ricky.
And see, that's another thing. A lot of people don't realize.
They come
us
in
as-
with sorry.
Well, the board artists, we get like audio cassettes with and you guys have already done the voice acting, and so that just really lets us go to town.
Right.
And we can tell that you guys are really wearing yourselves out.
oh yeah,
Oh,
we
my
wore
God.
ourselves out quick. In
It's
fact,
like
we
people-
wore ourselves out to 26 episodes.
And people come in with a jacket on, and a scarf, and by the end, it's
Right.
like they're literally greased up with butter, and they're like, no shirt
You
on.
look like
and-
Mortos, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of stuff that we go through, like an entire day of recording, take
about
after
Wally,
take after take. And then I'd go into, a room with usually Matt Brown, the sound guy,
Matt,
and,
yeah.
and I'd pick the best takes, and I'd kind of string them together, kind of like how the story would progress, and then that tape would go to, say, Ray in this case.
Candidate's popularity will be monitored by audience brain scan. A drop in popularity will result in a horrible electric shock.
That's
I can
because
just
you'd go
imagine.
in there like with you go in there and you'd say, no, do it like
I
this.
stand for. But only now can I reveal that if elected, I will ensure that
I like how when
It's so great you can laugh about
Richard
that.
would start yammering like in a Bob Hope way or something, and Jonah would just turn off the sound. To the
Oh,
booth.
yeah, we'd have Richard
And
isolated.
Richard would be going on for a while, not realizing nobody can hear it.
We'd have Richard isolated in his own booth while everyone else was, in a row, kind of like we are right now, in another room. And Richard would be going, I remember this one time, blah, blah, blah. And we would just turn his mic down. And,
How do you know that I went on?
and you would look over and just see his mouth going.
Until Richard rebelled, and suddenly, like, I showed up, and that was my booth for some reason, and I said, and then just you go, that's just the way.
Yeah,
it's
it's
what
the
it's
way.
gonna be from now
You're gonna be
on.
the
There was
bit
just
now.
something so sad and funny about seeing him just going on and on, no
Yeah.
sound, arms gesturing wildly.
Doing his best stuff he had,
Yeah.
doing all like
How do
Sean.
you know that I was going on if you couldn't hear me? How do you know I wasn't just going,
Because we could hear like David Cassidy really lightly underneath,
ah, like David Cassidy. There you go. That's the second Cassidy you've mentioned today.
Candidate 2, begin the babbling.
If elected,
I think by this point the sound designer was flatulent on their own. They just knew that every Zim episode was going to have flatulence. Just flatulama.
We did.
Giant head. If I am elected,
An orchestra.
What I like to call a symphony of wind.
It's a wind instrument.
A symphony of wind?
Yes, Gerson's show.
America!
Okay, so what was the deal with the salted nuts?
Just something. I think that's from Eric.
Yeah, they were salted nuts.
All right.
Who gave
Sometimes
you that idea?
Me? Actually, no, Don the security guy.
Don this year.
I paid him 20 bucks.
How was it going?
How's it
Man,
going?
Here's
Salted
some
nuts!
salted nuts.
Jim Wise here. Jim Wise's stuff here. Him trying to sound coherent into like. Listen to that. I remember we were laughing so hard during this takes.
This is so great.
He's like a cross between Iggins and one of the sausages.
Yeah. This is the illegitimate brother.
Was that Torque Smacky?
Was he back there? Was he
Yeah.
back there?
Torque is, yeah, he's in there.
Oh, look at the scratching faster.
Yeah, he just speeds up.
Faster.
Look at that little lightning bolt on Zim.
Oh, quick on the hot dog grab in there.
I mean, I will give everyone laser beam eyes and shoes that make them invisible.
Who couldn't use that?
It's
Nope, flying
universal.
kids, more flying
It's
kids.
universal.
That spike's uncomfortably kind of like wedged into his forehead.
Oh yeah.
Is this still you, Ray? The stuff in the end here, or is this Louis?
This is Louis now.
And you all be my friend, and you can go home and not no
Louis and I, we flipped flop back and forth on the storyboard
It's like-
because there was just so many crowds.
What could he have possibly done to
You
get
divided
a,
it by how
a
many horrible
scratch on
crowds
his
there
arm
were.
or
Yeah,
whatever
we
with that
would've-
Band-Aid is?
I think
It's
I
just
wanted
such
to
an
write it where it was all
oddly
going to be on
placed
TV. You'd only
Band-Aid.
occasionally have to cut to a crowd scene watching TV.
Oh, look, more
Zim,
giant
huh?
helmets, more giant helmets.
Sorry, I faded
With
out. What are
lights.
we doing? What's going on?
Vote for
Where are
Zim
we?
or I'll destroy you.
Oh, we're still watching the show.
Did you write that, Eric?
No, actually, I fade out.
Andy, I really think they should have let you say more. They shouldn't have
Posing the
kept
children?
covering your mouth. In
They really shouldn't have, but I didn't have any say over that.
The winner is Zim! My empire of doom begins now!
This is a great Zim fantasy ruling sequence.
Well, no, you originally had the parade there again. You
I
tried-
wanted to stick the parade back in. The
tried to
parade
put the
cut from
parade
door
back
to
in,
door.
and
I
it
said,
got
damn
cut.
it.
Got
And it
cut
cut
again.
again.
If I recall, the parade had elephants
Yes.
and giant Zim statues, and there might have been some Zim
He was-
statues in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's
really sorry I
impossible.
didn't
There
get a
never
chance
would
to
have
draw
been a
all of
parade
that.
in an Eric Trueheart script.
That's right. I had to put a parade in every script after that.
Face it, Zim, I beat you. And as Willie's
That's a
campus
very long
manager,
hallway.
It's a pretty high-tech school.
Thank you.
Hey man, being flown around is fun.
The coolest thing in here, I think, is the evil villain guy who has the evil pet.
Yeah.
That's
Who-
petting its own evil little
Who
pet.
also has an evil pet? Yeah.
And look how sad. Watch the beaver. Watch the beaver. How sad, and he has a tear in his eye when he drops his little guy. Look at him.
As student president.
Look at him. He's sad.
Destiny.
So who does Willie turn into here? Who is this?
Chip, chip. Greetings, fellow students. Isn't school just
I
smashing?
don't
Hurry on and
understand.
go. Our school is great, and it's that greatness that makes us great. And we've got the finest toilets ever made.
Earth smell. By the look on your face, I can see you didn't intend to spare me Willie's horrible fate.
Now, Andy, when Dib is frowning like that, how do
Yeah.
you get into the character? I mean, what do you go through to get him that convincing?
Basically, I let Richard do it.
I hate you.
Anytime I'm not
Salted
speaking,
nuts
that's
is a
really Richard.
metaphor.
Gaz is
Remember
eating out
that.
of his head all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because it's filled with salted
Hey, good job, Ray.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Ray and
Well done.
Louis.
nuts. Ray made it work.
Louis, the new
Louis.
dib.
What was the? What was
Louis
salt-
is the new dib
Salted nuts are a metaphor for what?
for salted nuts.
Oh.
They're a metaphor for the
For
democratic
Cybernator.
process being co-opted by cheap
By
Barnabism
I'm
and
not going there.
economic.
Cybernator.
What?
We hope you enjoyed this commentary.